This is TWiT, This Week in Tech, episode 22 for September 11th, 2005. The audience had to make a lot of noise and I forgot to turn my mic up. We're at Noonan's Bar and Grill in beautiful Larkspur Landing, California, the new home of TWiT. This is the new official TWiT Lounge with the leather chairs for John C. Dvorak, and he's looking very...
Hey, everybody's got a leather chair.
You look nice.
Actually, we have a leather couch over here.
We're on a bench.
You get your own leather chair.
There's another one there.
John C.
Chair,
Dvorak
digital camera.
Foregoes his Cal Bears game and his Niners
56-17.
Oh, they won.
That was yesterday.
Oh, Saturday's football.
So that's the football game.
Patrick Norton, who knows about these kinds of things. Roger Chang was at GameSpot.
Yep.
And I understand, well, I'll talk about that in just a second. And of course, I'm Leo Laporte. Not with us today, missing in action, Kevin Rose and David Prager, who decided to go to the Niners game instead of coming to, oh, man. And Robert Heron, I don't know what happened to him. But anyway. But we do have a special TWiT with us. Alex Lindsay is here. It's good to have you joining us. Alex, of course, a regular on Call for Help. He even flies up to Canada to be on Call for Help. Does the Photoshop and 3D stuff. He's with the Pixel Corps, which is the guild of 3D designers. And Alex and I are going to do an IPC. What are you laughing at?
Every time John pulls the camera,
bang the mic.
Bangs the mic.
So now I kind of have to do it with the wrong eye, like this.
Well, let me show you. You can actually turn these mics around. You just take the headsets and go like this.
It won't matter. Then I'll still be banging it. This thing is
It's still in front of him. That's the problem.
It's in front of me. It's the problem.
Oh, yeah. It really wouldn't work behind you.
You have to kind of...
Nice. Nice.
At home, don't hear a big squeaking sound.
And as my ear starts bleeding once again.
Did you hear it? Was that loud? All right. So today, this is the beginning of another new chapter in the TWiT, which is, I think this is nice. We got nice leather chairs. We've got a bar. Can we have some Bordeaux for Mr. Dvorak? What does it matter what kind of Bordeaux? Any Bordeaux will do.
None will be good.
I don't think so.
Single malt Bordeaux today.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you got that down, Real.
40 of Bordeaux.
I'm very... Yeah, what, you like the wide mouth or the... Well, actually, we have Claw here. Spock Avriel, who is a viewer who came all the way from Reno, makes this stuff. Come up to the red microphone, Spock Avriel, and explain what Claw is.
Well, Claw is a beverage which I throw together, which I start out with a bunch of cocoa powder. Then I run the water through it about 4 times.
You're doing this in like a Mr. Coffee.
Yep, in a Mr. Coffee automatic drip coffee pot. Then after the chocolate water has gotten as dark as coffee regularly is, I take it and I dump it through Folgers with cinnamon mixed into it. And it ends up becoming so strong that if it weren't in a plastic container, it would probably dissolve the floor.
And we're going to have Patrick's wife, Sarah, be the official taster.
Yeah. Don't worry, it is safe.
We've asked for glasses of ice. We'll have ice Claw a little bit later on. Thank you, Spock Avriel, for bringing that on the plane. I'm surprised that the TSA...
No, it was the bus. It wasn't the plane.
Oh, you made it in the hotel. No?
No.
You took a bus here?
Yep.
Yeah. You're flying back.
I got up at 4:30 this morning.
Oh, dear.
I was up till 2 o'clock last night making all of this.
Oh, dear. And who says the TWiT army is off? He's a TWitism. So this is This Week in Tech. It means we talk about tech. Of course, the big story probably is the Apple keynote on Wednesday where...
Let's talk about something really scary.
What's that?
Microsoft has decided...
Wait a minute. You're going to cut off the Apple story? You're going to say...
Just like that.
Apple, okay, Motorola rocker.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's do Microsoft.
Nano. Great. Yeah.
All right, we have a couple of Nanos here. Patrick brought one. And that's pretty. I like it. It's very pretty. And then Alex brought one too. Neither of these are black. Couldn't you get the black one?
They were sold out.
Didn't even think to ask for one.
Sold? Oh, see, Alex.
I thought of asking for one. They were sold out very quickly, and they're waiting for more.
We're going to do a mod. We're going to color it with a black magic marker.
So I agree with you. The rocker is like, in fact, already people are complaining about it.
Well, they can't get it connected to to the iTunes. I mean, that's
Did you know that the phone's hacked already?
Is it?
Yeah, there was on Friday I got a memo about it, and there's a site, I guess it was in Canada or someplace, and they got the whole phone hacked. And not only that, but you can download the software and use it on older Motorola phones.
So you don't even need it.
No, you don't even need it.
You just need the software.
I'll put a link on my website about it.
That'd be great.
.org/blog. Yeah, no, you take a bunch of flack every time I mention it.
You know, I'm going to play at the end of this show, instead of the normal doing the TWiT that I play, Ashley TWiT, who are doing the TWiT, has made a new song called I Get No Spam. Have you heard it?
No, but I was expecting it. I get ridiculed for the fact I get no spam, and I understand that. I understand.
You're not ridiculed. It's not ridicule. It's admiration.
High praise. Yeah, right.
It's like Ron Popeil. Everybody says
you know what it is? It's a tagline. You have a tagline.
Yeah, it works for me.
You know, Gary Coleman had "What You Talking About, Willis?" Right? I mean, it's a tagline.
Donald Trump had "You're fired."
You're fired. Everybody needs a tagline.
Yeah, I get no spam is mine.
It's not a bad one.
No, it's okay.
It's very modern.
Think we're talking with Think Geek. They're going to do a whole TWiT line of merchandise, and one of the shirts is going to be your face. If this is all right, you have to prove it.
Oh, of course.
That says "I get no spam," and you're in the.
As long as underneath it says www.therock.org/blog. I don't have a problem.
So the Rocker's been hacked. It was kind of a boring phone anyway, and the thing that people wanted to do, which was download the iTunes right into the phone, you can't do. Right?
Well, but the thing is that it sounds like that the phone companies want that to happen. They want
because it's minutes.
Well, they want to charge you $2 a song or something like that. So that was. I'm kind of glad.
Why didn't that happen?
I bet you Apple didn't want that to happen.
They want you to go through the iTunes Music store.
Well, I think also, I mean, if it's $2 per song, I mean, it kind of takes the
undermines
$2.
That's like it should be 25 cents.
It's $1.99 a ringtone for a 30-second ringtone.
Yeah, I know, but that's amazing that business is. You know, that's a $3 billion business. $3 billion. It's amazing that people's. It's baffling.
My phone's set to vibrate. That's it. I mean, I don't have any.
That's your ringtone?
That's my ringtone.
My ringtone is vibrate.
Yeah, I don't. Because I was one time sitting on air at Tech TV and my phone went off. So from then on, it was on vibrate.
Vibrate really works. I'm looking at Dvorak's watching the '90s game.
No, it's just nothing. I'm not watching. I'm listening. We're on radio here basically, and now you're like telling me.
You're right. I
mentioned the fact that Leo's sitting here stark naked.
You don't have
nobody.
We were supposed to say that at the end.
It's like that was a big surprise.
We've been sitting here. That's why I'm looking away.
I was looking at Soccer Girl's ratings. She does her podcast from the bathtub, and I thought it'd be good if I did mine naked from Noonan's.
Have you seen Soccer Girl?
That's my new tagline, by the way.
Naked and Noonan's. This will pack them in next week.
People don't know that every radio station in the world now has 2 or 3 TVs in the studio, and half the time people who are doing the radio shows are like this, watching the TV. They're not paying any attention to the show. The callers call in, and you can tell. You were on Larry King.
Yeah.
He doesn't pay any attention.
He fell asleep.
During the interview?
Yeah, one time, yeah. This is when he was doing the radio show.
Wait a minute.
I never told you the story. It's a great story. Yeah, basically, he's interviewing me, and he works all day, so he's at night. This is at midnight or whatever, so he falls asleep. And the funny thing was that he's running through these phone calls. He's Des Moines, Albuquerque, and he's running through them. He's cutting people off, and it's just unbelievable. And then he falls asleep. And there's some.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. He's sitting there. You're doing a radio show. He nods off.
Yeah, he's dead out. And he said he's. Is his
head on the table?
No. He's just like out, and so he's far enough away that you can't nudge him. So
and you really don't want to. He's Larry.
So I got some guy who's a really boring guy talking, and I look over. Larry's out, and so meanwhile everybody else is wondering why they got cut off with this boring dude is going on, And so I said to the guy, "You got any other questions?" Larry, this guy, not really. Oh no, geez, I got dead air here. So luckily he woke up at the just snapped out of him,
Muncie.
Yeah, Cincinnati, go ahead.
That was a great radio show. I think he's much better on the radio.
Yeah, I think so too.
Many people are. So the Rocker, I think Singular's benefit, of course, is they want to charge $3 of
I don't think
they get the air time, and Apple won't let them. Apple's benefit is it's a big ad campaign for iTunes.
Well, I have to admit, I mean, after did you see the ads?
Yeah, it's all about iTunes.
Well, it's also all about. I mean, I have to admit, I was on the way here and my phone rang. while I'm listening to my new Nano, and I was like, it would be really. I didn't know if it stopped. The marketing started to sink in. I was like, it would be nice if I just hit something on my phone, on my iPod, and was able to answer the call and not have to switch all my headphones around.
There have been phones that have done this since the year 2000. By the way, this is nothing new. I mean, MP3 playing phones.
What you need is a Prius, or one of the cars where the Bluetooth.
Exactly.
The phone rings, the engine stops,
and then you coast to a stop.
Or you know what'd be better if you could steer.
We're a laugh riot today.
Right?
There's no substance in this show. I can see.
We're getting there. We're getting.
I'm waiting. I'm sure other people.
Patrick has a story with substance.
Well, like a half dozen, but
really.
Anyhow, Roger's got a pointer.
Let me write that date down.
But I think that a lot of people were waiting to see if we were going to see video. I think that was the.
That was the secret.
It's going to be a while.
I think it was more hope than it was. I know it was one of my hopes.
Well, the problem is what are they going to play? I mean, PlayStation's actually the PlayStation in Japan actually has a bunch of downloadable television created, so there's something other than overpriced UMD movies available for the PSP. Creative's going, we've got the ultimate player for your content. And everybody goes, where's the content coming from? And they go, there are a number of legal sources.
Are you talking about video on the rocker?
Well, no, I mean
the Nano.
The thing is that Apple has had a video player floating around internally for years now, and it's just a matter of when they're going to.
Steve's the roadblock, right?
Well, it's just a matter of when the market.
Bottom line for roadblock, they're making so much money on this thing. Why shouldn't they? Start when the numbers start to flatline. Boom! Here comes the video.
They always used to say in the mainframe business, IBM would do that they would hold on to innovation so that they would continue to sell.
Yeah, it's a business.
And then
they're not doing it as a favor to us.
Dribble them out. And this is a great. I mean, look, this has got 3 years of. I mean, the Nano is incredible. Don't you think this is the product of the year? I think.
I wouldn't call it that, but it's pretty cool.
What's a better product? They'll sell 10 million of them. What's the better product?
Well, I mean, I think that when we see the limited release of the EVDO stuff that Verizon's going to be putting out at the end of the year, that'll be something that'll be in the ballpark if the interface is
more
okay.
than VCast. Something else that they're doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean
because they're already doing VCast with the EVDO. They're doing video on a phone. This is in LA. It's available. It's actually. San Francisco's going to get it any day now, and it's full motion, 30 frame,
2.4 megabits per second for the phone.
Yeah, which you can't connect to your notebook.
Right? Well, they wouldn't want you to do that, would they?
Well, they do.
Is this digital video the handheld, that new standard, that DVD?
Well, the EVDO is basically high-speed data to your phone.
Right.
But one of the things they're going to do is push video down it, but it'll also be high-speed data.
But they're solving the content issue by making Amped Mobile was making tons of.
They've already got Discovery. They've got CNN. They've already got some good cable channels on there. I think they need TWiT. Did you see, by the way, that TWiT was featured on the Nano site? Wasn't that cool? Yeah. If you go to the Nano site, they have a great flash. Or actually, it's QuickTime demos. If you click podcast, it plays plays TWiT. I'm not sure why, but.
They didn't mention this in the copy, though, which is kind of annoying.
No.
They didn't mention.
But they mentioned Adam Curry.
They did, actually. ABC News, Adam Curry.
Adam Curry's an employee of Apple?
Apple pays him to do that Podfinder podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's why...
So basically you're telling me that the little copy that was written there is essentially corrupt self-promotion?
No.
No, it's profitable self-promotion. Those are all the people that are supposed to be in the top 10 instead of us.
All right, Patrick.
I see.
We have now drained the subject dry. You may bring up something about Microsoft.
Okay. Big shock. Disturbing shock. No patch coming this Patch Tuesday.
But it's Patch Tuesday.
It's Patch Tuesday. Which is kind of like, it's not that there's nothing to fix, but this is one of my favorite Microsoft lines ever. Occasionally, the testing process and our strict focus on quality can result in a month where no security updates are released, as is the case for 13 September 2005.
Stop the presses.
They missed the boat. They should say, no, it's all fixed. We're secure.
We're done.
We're done. There's their opportunity.
That would just invite hackers.
I guess you're right.
Well, what's even more scary is, have you guys seen, there's been a couple really good articles floating around on Windows Vista. And there's two kind of themes for the articles. One is that there's going to be 7 SKUs. There's going to be 7 different basic Windows Vista products.
There's the one for Indonesia.
Oh, no. There's the Starter Edition, the Home Basic Edition, the Home Premium Edition, the Professional Edition, the Small Business Edition, and my personal favorite, the Ultimate Edition. Oh.
What happened to the Platinum Edition?
Well, apparently the Platinum Edition is the Ultimate Edition. This is good.
They have the
So, I mean, who did they hire that comes up with this as a marketing scheme?
I mean, what actually differentiates between all the tiers of
the box, apparently?
Well, Windows Vista Ultimate Edition is a superset of both Windows Vista Home Premium and Windows Vista Pro Edition, so it includes all of the features of both of those product versions, plus adds, and I quote, the game performance tweaker with integrated gaming experiences, a podcast creation utility, under consideration, may be cut from product, online club services.
Wait a minute, online what?
Online club services. And I should
What is that supposed to mean? Is that like blogging?
No.
Work out on your Windows.
It's exclusive access to music, movies, services, and preferred customer care, i.e. tech support.
That's just a money-making scam.
Yeah, it's a monthly fee. From Microsoft?
Fee.
Doesn't this sound like a lot like GM?
I said this before and I'll say it again. This company is dead in the water. They're flatlined.
They're looking worse every minute.
This is a desperation move, seriously.
But the good news is, no patches. Security.
Probably took the week off.
Was up to their
They were at Burning Man. They didn't have time to do the patches.
We were at Burning Man. Did you go to Burning Man this year?
No.
I thought you had
Alex Burning Man.
You know, here's the worst part: is I have friends who've gone like since the first one, and I think about going 2 days before Burning Man every year. Like, I should go, and then I do some research, and
You can't go 2 days before.
Well, you can't think about it 2 days before. You can't find anything. You can't. It's everything's
Anybody
out
here?
there.
What do you need? 5 gallons of water.
Wait a minute. Step up to the microphone.
I've been to Burning Man.
There's a man
who here's been to Burning Man.
But he was here. He was there this time.
Okay,
Yes, I was.
how was it?
It was great.
What's always great?
Cousin Bob.
Cousin Bob was at Burning Man.
Were you naked?
No.
Okay, good.
Bob, you look
I
like
just wanted to make sure.
Not everybody
My
at
wife-
Burning Man is naked.
Yeah, I know. My wife describes it as naked men on bicycles.
Actually, one of the biggest events there is naked women on bicycles.
Yeah,
But they're all lit up, right? They have lights in the wheels.
No, they're all painted up, actually.
They're all on fire.
The bicycles or the women?
Naked women on bicycles.
So, Cousin Bob, is this your first Burning Man, or have you been before?
No, fifth.
Fifth?
Wow.
In a row?
So you're just a regular.
Yeah.
What would you say is, how has Burning Man changed over those 5 years?
Well, I don't know how much it's changed as much as I've changed. I got more and more used to it as I get to prepare better and have a better time up there
And
because I
your
know
drug
more what
tolerance
to
is
do.
going high.
I had a problem about 14 years ago. They discovered I had already done my lifetime supply of drug and alcohol. So I go up clean and sober.
Good man. That's great. That's great.
And you can still have a good time.
Are you allowed to have claw? Because we'd love to have you have a cup of claw.
I'll try it. When the glasses with ice come out, then we'll try it.
Or get the
I'd be the one guy who tries it.
It's just a highly caffeinated beverage.
So how would you characterize Burning Man for somebody who doesn't know what we're talking about?
Burning Man it's kind of I don't know what you call it. I mean, you can say it's an experiment in autonomous community creation centered around. Basically, they go out in the desert and
How
people
does he do that.
I learned it from you.
Oh.
Oh, you mean the voice or the athletic portion?
the copy. He just comes up with these like
You read it from the website.
marketing speak. It's amazing.
At his desk, he probably just has like a row of words that
Marketing
he can put together.
generator.
Basically, a bunch of people go out in the desert and get weird. And just create their own little society.
It's kind of amazing. I mean, there's a small town that just appears.
They create an infrastructure to support 25, 30,000 people.
I make the argument that it's actually a modern version of the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Essentially, it takes place, and the irony, of course, is that New Orleans was destroyed as Burning Man was going on exactly at the same time. I just thought the symbolism there was too much to ignore.
Conspiracy.
I think not. But it's a Mardi Gras-like celebration where people, just kind of let it all hang out.
One had too much while the other one has not enough.
Venice is big in Carnival, too. I wonder if there's Thank you very much.
The Niners made an interception.
The Niners must have done something.
Yeah, they got an interception. St. Louis about time.
I would like to ask the Niners to kind of coordinate their good plays with our jokes, and things would go much more smoothly here.
Well, until recently, their good plays were all jokes themselves. So it's like, ooh, hey, sorry, how can I miss a softball like that?
So 6 SKUs of Vista.
7
SKUs.
7 SKUs of Vista.
Do you think consumers are confused by all this variety? Sometimes I think consumers just want a simple. I still get a lot of calls on the show saying, "What's the difference between Pro and Home?"
Do I need XP? What do you do?
On the other hand, people do want the ultimate edition. You know, they'll sell more because it's the ultimate, right? Yeah. There's a certain group of people who will buy.
So there's going to be the bling edition.
The bling, yeah, exactly.
The gold encrusted edition.
Comes with a watch, big watch.
Comes with an OnStar button on your keyboard.
That's what we need.
Hey, that's really not a bad idea. Yeah.
Windows with OnStar.
I've lost in this application. How do I get back?
I can't find my cursor. I lost my password. I'm locked out. We'll lock you, unlock for you.
That's a great idea.
That's the worst job ever. What do you do? I'm tech support for XP OnStar.
Don't you love those OnStar ads where I just crashed my car down a ditch. It's okay, hang on, we'll be with you.
I like the one with the kids.
Yeah.
Where they describe.
Yeah, there's kids trapped in the car.
Yeah, who will help me when my airbags deploy? It's like you're too young to be driving a car anyway.
Who will help me? Who will help me with the blue screen of death?
Microsoft OnStar. On call.
And you're going to be paying like $3 a minute for that phone call after your, 40 minutes of free connection time.
So what's the next topic?
Yeah, I was setting you up for another softball. You let it go,
That's
John.
okay. There'll be other ones.
He's waiting for the Niners to
waiting for a whiffle.
There's plenty of softballs from you.
Scary thought. So how about the massive system requirements on Vista, or
what other system requirements?
Yeah, what's the main memory?
The main memory, actually, if you really wanted to actually function, for the 64-bit, they're talking about 2 gigabytes.
What?
Hold on. Windows Vista 32-bit will work ideally at 1 gigabyte. The minimum is 512. 1 gigabyte. Minimum is 512 megabytes. And for the 64-bit, because of the way it's handling data, they're recommending 2 gigabytes.
Oh, that's cheap nowadays. That's nothing to get worked up about.
But you can't upgrade.
The problem is that you're pushing the limit. I mean, what's the max this thing will handle? Will it handle 8?
I would hope so. Well, what's really actually kind of scary is the graphics requirements, because it's basically rendering everything out. Everything's a vector on the screen now. It's not bit mapping, which means for performance on graphics, for 2D graphics, you need like 128 or 256 megabytes of memory. Plus, it'll help if you have PCI Express on your video card.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that kind of like Quartz Extreme?
It's similar.
I mean, my laptop has 128 megs of VRAM. I mean, it's not standard, but it's.
You actually had a special order, but that's because you wanted to use Motion, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's not that far away from OS 10. I have to admit, because OS 10.
OS 10 without a gigabyte of RAM is just.
No, it works fine at 512.
It works fine. Yeah. How much is in your notebook?
1.6.
And how much is in the system at home?
2.
And how much is in the other system at home?
No, I have a couple with 512.
Okay.
That works fine.
But those are owned by the children, though, right?
The children.
I just wanted to make sure I had that clear.
iChat works great at 512. No, you can use it in 512, but you're right. I mean, it likes more. But I have to say, right now, both Mac and Windows XP, 512 is good, and you don't get a huge bump unless you're using high-end applications. Going over 512, you get incremental increases. But this sounds like you're gonna start at a gigabyte.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be. The other thing that's going to be interesting is from what they're saying is none of the available TFT monitors are going to be able to play HD DVD, or Blu-ray, because they're all going to require an HDCP monitor.
Oh, then that's for copy protection.
Right.
Oh, well, that's pathetic. I'm telling you, these guys are killing themselves.
I think DRM is what's going to drag my Hollywood all the way to the bottom of the sea, because there's no way to, it's just not going to.
I think it's going to drag Apple to the bottom of the sea too. I mean, I think Apple is in the same boat. Any big company that wants to be in bed with the movie companies and the record companies is going to have to support this stuff. And you're right. I mean, I don't think it's a good thing. You're right, but I think that it's going to hurt Apple as much as it hurts Microsoft.
I think that depends on how fast IPTV expands. There's a lot of people who can be successul without copy protection. And if those niche markets start to explode, and when I don't mean us sitting around the table. I mean, like, if Wired magazine, for instance, decided it wanted to run its own little show, for instance, they'd have 500,000 viewers on show 1. They'd have 1 million viewers on show 2.
I think that's inevitable. I think the current structure is going to collapse. It's timing.
But for them, copying it around is just marketing. They don't need to do any DRM. They don't need to slow it down. And if magazines like that start to push down the path, it's
how do they make money off it?
They don't need to. I mean, the thing is that
they got to pay for the bandwidth. How do they pay for the bandwidth?
You do some kind of variant of BitTorrent.
Well, now
you're
this
talking
raises
about
an interesting
$500.
question. I agree with you that BitTorrent makes everything cheap. Do you think we're going to see peer-to-peer technologies be mainstream so that they're easy to use? I mean, right now it's only geeks can use it. I mean, that's key to this all working?
I think people are going to build it if someone doesn't. I know
it only needs another layer to make BitTorrent very usable.
Then you put it in. Here's what will happen: is somebody will put it in a client and just say don't ask, just keep running the client or always run in the background. And then people are going to read the...
Actually, in the early days of Napster, there was a lot of people who didn't realize they were uploading and downloading at the same time.
Right. But I think people will spring blood.
If you're doing 4.5 gigabytes of video, you might notice that.
I mean, at the Pixel Core, we're working on a player that just sits in the background and just constantly is uploading.
Don't you think people are going to freak out when they say, well, wait a minute, you want me to run this all the time?
And our ISP is going to freak out.
Well, it just depends on whether it's throttled or not. I mean, if you start, what we're doing.
I throttle my BitTorrent at 16 kilobytes a second. That's fine.
Exactly. So if you throttle it, because you don't need if you have 2,000 or 3,000 people uploading at 10K a second,
that's fine.
It's going to be enough to supply.
That many at one time.
But that's what I'm saying is that this isn't going to work unless it's universal.
Unless everybody.
I mean, it has to. That's one of those things where you need a group, not just a small subset. You need a lot of people to kind of.
Look what happened with the video of our last TWiTcast, because Kevin made a video. It's 500 megabytes. And, for the first 5 hours...
Didn't they compress it a little more than that?
Well, it was an hour and a half. It's on a CD, by the way, if anybody...
But a lot of it was you.
Yeah, right.
They couldn't compress my ass.
I had a good line in that about
it was very funny. I didn't get it until I listened back and I said, I get now what he was talking about. They need this wide screen.
Panorama. You just panoramic lenses.
I get it. A week later.
I'm trying to slip them in.
Isn't that kind of a weird dichotomy? I mean, everyone's pushing higher def, but everyone wants smaller files.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, here, this is a big file. This is, a 30 megabyte file, but people have kind of gotten used to that. But you go to 500, all of a sudden, there was a lot of complaints. And, with the BitTorrent client, the first few hours are saying, it's going to take you 11 days to get this file. Well, eventually, when enough people seeded, it's now pretty quick. 3 or 4 days later, it's very quick.
Right.
But in the first few hours, it's like... And if it weren't very popular, and if you didn't have a lot of people who are leaving their client open,
a lot of it has to do also
with cascading, though.
Well, once you get used to using BitTorrent, you don't pay attention to that stuff. You just run it, and then you hope to God that when you come back, the thing is downloaded.
Another Ron Popeil. Set it, forget it.
It's a total crapshoot.
Well, I mean, the thing,
that's who needs to market it. We need to get Ron Popeil for BitTorrent.
They would do it.
We will in the Pixel Core. We'll actually send out as much as 2 terabytes to everyone. 2 terabytes of transfer. It'll be up to 2 or 3 gigabytes to everyone in the Pixel Core. Over a handful,
thousands of people.
To a couple, to maybe 1,000 to 2,000 people, and that all happens. But the thing is they all come to it almost at the same time. You cascade it a little bit, so 10 people have it, then 100 people have it, and then you tell everyone go get it.
That's how you have to do it. You have to manage the release. You have to rolling release.
And if you have an automated system, you can do that automatically. So you can say,
instead of having the current dog pile.
Exactly. Yeah. So you hit a 10, and then you hit 100, and then you hit 1,000, and you could measure bandwidth. There's all kinds of ways to handle it.
Some of the content distribution networks providers are starting to kind of cozy up the BitTorrent like that, and that's certainly how systems being handled. But it's kind of a private system that
an Akamai style distributed system.
Yeah, where you're actually basically using an Akamai style setup to seed regional servers or regional boxes that'll host BitTorrent for people to download from. But it still also requires people to actually leave that upstream up after they get theirs downloaded.
We found that 60% of, you would upload, by the time you downloaded it, you uploaded 60% of what you had downloaded, just in the period of time that you were downloading. So it actually doesn't require...
For how many people? How many concurrent users?
That was probably 300-400 at a time.
That would be interesting to see what happens when you get up to 30 or 40,000. How it starts to scale.
And that's how it's going to have to scale. You just talked about 500,000 people a week. Well, you're going to have to scale very well.
I know, we're dealing with this getting ready for MacBreak, because MacBreak will be a big.
How big is that going to be?
We're going to guessing it'll be 400 or 500 megs. We're doing some tests. We may be shooting it. MacBreak actually may be 960 by 540, which is bigger than broadcast.
People are sticking with this 4x3, and
we don't. We don't need to. We're looking at shooting on the Sony Z1Us.
Oh, and that's what I use.
And then
actually, the lenses are
okay.
Yeah, they have it. It's a really good camera if you just have it set up in a single spot, but and you have it pushed in. But if you actually have it pull out a little bit, it's actually really hard to kind of get a clear focus.
So the lens has some curvature on the corners, or?
Yeah, it's a Carl Zeiss lens, so it's like the last thing you think would happen.
The Carl Zeiss doesn't really exist anymore. It's the Sony front.
So it's.
It's a brand name that they
It's kind of funny because I think the old XL1 lens, the fluorite lens, is actually better.
Well, the XL1 lenses are by far better. And the other one to look is the JVC, which is a little more expensive. They've got all, you can really put on some.
There's also
lenses.
a JVC HD.
That's what I'm talking about.
These are all HD. These are all
HDV.
Yeah.
I mean, the big one is the big one that everyone's waiting for is the HVX200 from Panasonic, and a lot of us are holding our breath.
I thought that was supposed to be out by now.
It might have been, but it looks like it'll actually hit stores in December.
You don't really want to do internet video in HD, though, do you? I mean, the files.
No, but don't you want to get it in HD just in case?
Well,
you can always download.
It's not like you're recording a football game or the Olympics or something. I mean, this is like
Letterman just switched to HD. At least locally, maybe it's nationally had it before, but I watch HD.
Yeah, Leno's been HD for a while.
Well, he was one of the originals.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this. The show is just so much nicer. I don't care. There's no reason to watch.
Yeah.
You're right. A football game's great in HD, but just to watch the regular show.
Once people get used to it, they're not going to want it.
It's just a better experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crystal clear, and you can see the lettering on the cup, and there's all kinds of details you can deal with. There's no comparison.
Shoot it that way to begin with. There's
no, you can't go back.
Well, and that's what John's saying is shoot it that way.
That's why the best stuff that's going to show up as HD in the follow-up mark is going to be stuff that was shot on film. These sitcoms that are shot on video, if they weren't shot in HD to begin with, they're fuzzy looking when you see them on it. I use a big projector. So I have like a 90-inch image, and so when you look at anything, it's just like this is so fuzzy.
What kind of projector do you have?
I use a Toshiba.
You like it?
What's the resolution?
1180 by something ridiculous. It's hot looking.
I love projectors.
So the
dark room, and I mean that's beautiful.
There's two problems. One, you got to be. It's not during the day. You're not going to get any.
You got to be within a.
Well, you have to be. There's a distance issue, but the other thing is they make noise, and people keep overlooking the fact that there's a fan, and that's projected. The better the lumens, the noisier the fan. Unless somebody
it's really hot when it turns on.
Really hot.
Yeah, it's like a 200-watt lamp.
So you have to turn everything way up, to drown out the fan.
Yeah. The other reason for a tech show is because more resolution means the screens will look better.
Screenshots are going to be key, and you have to be higher resolution than the screenshots.
Right.
So you have to be more. You have to be better than 1024 by 768.
But or close to closer. Like when we get to 960 by 540, we're getting an image that's actually reasonable to look at. And that's the. That's what we're kind of considering. But we're looking at 500 megs probably.
Yeah, we're doing 150, and the number one thing we're getting is for the digital live TV, and people want they want like a 30 megabyte resolution, or a 30 megabyte download versus a 150 megabyte download.
What is it going to look like? A 30 megabytes?
It's going to look good.
It's actually you got to get something that small. You end up even with H.264, you end up going down to a 320 by 240 screen. For a 480 by 360, which is what we stream the program at live. Getting anything below 100 to 150 megabytes is extremely difficult. We get it floating around 100, 120 megabytes.
Yeah. We started just doing HD of all our basically HD capable games.
You shoot HD
for certain
we're talking for game stuff.
For certain interviews, I do shoot HD, and then for all the HD capable games, they record them, the gameplay and all that.
HD. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, why not? Yeah. And they can always downsample it.
Yeah. I kind of want to do it just because we can.
Right.
Well, but it'd be interesting though to see how many people, how many people download half a gigabyte of video.
I think they will.
I think
these are early adopters.
That's the whole thing. It may be, it's still a niche market, but you're still talking about 30 or 40 million people that have BitTorrent, and more will get it if, like a Mac show, there isn't another Mac show to compete with. This is the only
ideal, though, I think, is to have a dedicated client for the program, right?
And that's where we're going. I think that's where a lot of people
does all the BitTorrent for you, and it's just kind of automatic.
I have this horrible vision of the CNN client on my desktop and the CBS client and the Mac show client.
There's got to be a killer app client. There's got to be one. Maybe Cohen will do one.
What about the DLTV software that's floating around? Have you used that at all?
Which software?
Is it DLTV? Is that what it's called?
I just saw that. Somebody sent us an email with that.
It's not Elgato. It's not the.
It's
designed for internet television.
I haven't played with that at all.
Pardon me? Is it Mac only? Yeah.
I haven't played with it.
Is it an external log and find it real quick? No, it's basically software that runs on OS X right now.
We can. Do we have some more stories that we want to cover? Should we go to our audience question? I haven't even been timing this. Let me see. Oh yeah,
we're at 4:48. We started like 4:13.
Yeah.
Actually, there's apparently a new hole in Firefox.
They call, but it's that IDN again, the International Domain Name System with these non-English characters, and that's been a problem before. Safari had that problem. I think Firefox had that problem before. There's a patch. It's very easy. In fact, you can just do it yourself by going about config in Firefox and turning off the IDN support.
This one sounds more like a regular buffer overflow.
It is. It's a buffer overflow taking advantage of the fact that when you use these non-standard character sets in the URL, the range checking somehow breaks and allows you to do a buffer overflow attack. It's serious. There's no exploits out there. Firefox, and this is a good example of the difference between open source and Microsoft. Firefox had a workaround up within 12 hours, and they're promising it. They haven't got the patch as we speak, but I'm sure they will. It's an easy thing to fix. It's not. Well, I'm sorry. It's not an easy thing to fix. It's an easy thing to work around by turning off international character sets in your domain names, but that will break a lot of websites.
That would be bad.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There must be, I guess Arabic websites and Chinese websites, and, websites we don't know about.
You can cut out the Russian spam that way, though.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't get any spam.
3, 2, 1. John Dvorak.
Get
no spam.
Of course, the question is, do you get all your email?
Yeah, actually, it's a long story.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Get
me started out.
Jeez.
This is a good tagline, though. I'm jealous. I don't have a tagline. That's a good tag. Look at this. People know it.
It's not your fault.
Nah, it's a lousy tagline. So, if people have questions, Matt, why don't you? Matt's very comfortable, and I don't want to get you up and everything, but
get up.
Time to be an intern. Matt Granowitzki, our intern, and. Man About Town is going to pass around.
That's all we have for the news this week. Is that it? It's a week. It's a light week.
eBay's trying to buy Skype, is the rumor. Trying to telecom is blocking Skype
already.
Hey, didn't someone just buy IGN?
From the internet.
IGN got sold,
yeah, IGN Fox, the basically News Corp.
Fox is going crazy buying up
News Corp buys MySpace, the company that owns MySpace. Now they bought IGN.
Rupert Murdoch's back in the net, baby.
No, Rupert Murdoch's looking for a younger audience.
Do you remember that Murdoch built in New York City a giant internet studio like 7 years ago, and they never put it online?
No, I don't know that.
They built a beautiful
Is it still
facility.
there?
I don't know where it is.
They probably tore it down.
Facility.
Let's go use it.
It'd be great. It was not just a TV studio. It was like a newsroom.
Right.
He had this kind of massive...
I never heard this story.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the
ring a bell. Tax write-off.
You remember it?
Intel sent a bunch of WiMAX equipment or pre-WiMAX equipment
to Louisiana.
That was the other interesting story.
Yeah, that did a lot of good.
Okay, thank you, Intel.
How come it's not working?
That wouldn't be any good for anybody.
No
you'd have
power.
You'd have to have electricity.
And then nobody has WiMAX cards.
What are you gonna? That's crazy. That's like Intel saying, "Well, here's a chance to do an ad."
Well, or it could be Intel saying
maybe they'll set up the police.
What they were saying is they were setting up relief workers.
Okay, that's different. So. They have to do both ends.
I don't think they were just sending a bunch of routers to a PO box. If you find this box, use it to save people.
You don't know that.
Yours, Intel.
You don't.
No, I don't. They could
just
send
that
it.
Fact. That's a possibility.
Styrofoam floats.
Nice thing about you're the only person who thinks like more cynically than I do, because they could literally send it to a post office box and say, "We've sent equipment to support the effort."
Hey, whatever works for their marketing department.
Good press release. All right, let's take some questions from the audience. Matt, you've got the microphone? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question for the camera geek over there. And I don't mean John. That's the 20D, right?
Yeah.
Canon 20D?
This is Alex Lindsay's been playing with it.
Yeah, this is the Canon 20D. I had a D70 before, now I have a 20D.
And why don't them just because of the RAW encryption stuff?
Let's talk
about that. Why did you not?
Let me talk about why I left my D70 in Africa.
Now, you're basically...
And it wasn't because Zimbabwe was taking it from me.
You were a Nikon user before?
I was really... Here's the worst part.
He was the guy who got me to buy a D70.
I'm sorry about that.
It's a great camera.
I love it. I'm so
I got a D70 right when it came out. I was really happy with it. I bought like $6,000 in glass. Totally committed.
You got some glass you want to borrow? I can borrow.
I do. Talk to me. I got glass. I got a little. So I bought a bunch of lenses. I was really happy with it. The big thing was that I kept on going back and forth with Nikon, going, "Can you give me the SDK for the camera?" The reason is we do a lot of camera control stuff. So we want to be able to fire the camera when we want. We want to be able to control the aperture, exposure, everything else to shoot what we call HDRs.
Gave you and didn't. That Nikon View was the only way to let you. That was garbage.
Useless. Yeah. So the thing is that I gave them about a year. It was about a year going back and forth, and then finally just decided. What turned it was that when I really started paying attention is Nikon encrypted the RAW format, which they opened up real quickly because Tom Knoll whacked him on the head.
Tom Knoll of Photoshop.
From one of the Photoshop founders, and so between that and then I was actually visiting someone who had camera control that really was working really well with the Canon, and I just decided I'm moving over, and I have to say that I really like the 20D.
And my friend who shoots for Reuters dumped his Nikon, years and years of Nikons, and went to the Canon.
Wow.
As well.
Well, Canon's the market leader right now for this stuff.
And they have been for a long time.
And they were very aggressive right at the beginning.
Yeah. And their digitals are better than anybody's right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the high end, Markov bought one of the little, and I told him not to do it.
The G5's okay.
He bought one of those little dinky ones what's that little an ELF 4 megapixel, 5 megapixel, and the thing doesn't focus, and he complains bitterly.
A lot of the little cameras are not very.
This little one I've got is.
You got which one do you have? The Nikon?
Yeah, no, I got the little Minolta. The
Minolta's a really nice.
This little guy is a nice.
You've
had
that for ages.
Well, I've had it for a year because it's still one of the really cool little cameras. It takes great pictures, always in focus.
I remember Patrick had the Maj and loved it.
Somebody liberated it from me in Vegas at CES. So.
Hey, someone took my Nikon in Vegas. Oh, not the same one. I had another Nikon, and they got liberated in Vegas at NAB. I was very.
Well, I hate to say that somebody stole it in Vegas because
they might be happy where it is.
Yeah. Do you know anything about the astronomy version of the Canon cameras? Someone just told me about it the other day, and it sounded really interesting.
I know nothing about it.
I think it's the 20DA.
That's right. Yeah, DA.
And is it designed to hook to the eyepiece or to the camera section of a?
The CCD or the CMOS actually will record infrared.
They took the filter off.
Took the filter off.
Generally speaking, most of these cameras have a filter that keeps the infrared off, and a lot of people wonder why. If you go back, in fact, there's a whole school of people who shoot infrared with digital cameras, and they either pull the filter off or they find one of the older cameras. I happen to have one, which I kind of toyed around with, that do not have the filter on them at all. And you can tell usually by taking it. If you can see a remote control gun in the camera. On the CCD, if you see a white light coming out of it, that tends to mean that there's no filter. And there's a lot of Olympuses that are this way. With that camera, you can take and put all those black filters on and make it pretty much as close to an infrared picture as you could possibly make with infrared film.
Jack Davis, the Photoshop guy, had one on the cruise and was taking pictures. It's amazing. I mean, but they look weird. I mean,
they look totally weird.
What are you going to do with it?
That's decoration.
Yeah. I mean, they take pictures of
nebula.
How can you put a picture on the wall? How'd you do that?
Chlorophyll looks different, so it pops out at you.
Yeah, the trees are all white.
Trees are all white. It's very interesting. Yeah. And of course, for astronomy, you'd get a whole different view of the galaxy out there. But you still would want to hook it up to a telescope, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they have mounts.
You mount it up to a telescope. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. Are you a photographer, sir? Or?
Yeah. Photographer and astronomer.
What's your name?
Todd Laney.
And where'd you come from?
Seattle.
You came down for this, or just you?
Hey, did you hear about the Washington Huskies having their asses handed to them?
Nice.
Yeah, I was drinking wine in Napa when that was going on. I wasn't paying attention.
Well, it's nice to have you, Todd. Thanks for coming down. I appreciate it.
I love the show.
That's great. Well, we'll be here every Sunday at TWiT's and Noonan's. No, I'm calling it TWiT's. I've renamed the bar. I think that would be good, wouldn't it?
That's a good name for a bar.
TWiT's, yeah.
I don't think it'll sophisticated.
TWiT's. Noonan's Bar and Grill at Larkspur Landing. And by the way, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon because Alex took the ferry. I know a number of you took the ferry. It's a beautiful ride over from San Francisco.
It's gorgeous.
But the last one's 5:30. So.
5:30, but it's.
I didn't even know it ran on Sunday.
Yeah.
We got buzzed by F-18. F-18s. It was great.
How long is the ride?
About 45 minutes.
And what was the F-18s doing?
I have no idea.
Oh wait, it's Fleet Week, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Next month.
But they were circling around, and then they came firing straight up over the.
There's a guy with the camera.
I was
Get the guy with the
enjoying
camera.
it. You know.
Shoot him.
Any other questions before we?
Pass those nano around.
Oh yeah, they want your nano. It's
Don't drop it.
It's up to you.
It's very cool, I have to say.
If it doesn't come back, it's not our fault.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my tagline.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not my fault.
Not my fault. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead, Mr. Claw over here. We still haven't had any Claw. We've got to get our glasses.
Hey,
We didn't get our glasses over.
We were hoping you'd forget.
Actually, my question is a little bit claw related. I'm wondering who's actually going to try some, and how many of you actually are planning to eat here anytime soon?
You know, I have to run, and I think probably I know you have to get your ferry. I'm sure John does, but I hear it's very good food. So you're going to stay for dinner, yeah?
Yeah.
I would normally, but I can't tonight.
Yeah, we'll probably stick around once in a while.
Once in a while, we'll have a special dinner. There's this whole private room over here. We could take over, but we frankly didn't expect an audience tonight because we didn't publicize it too much.
You got to start putting it on the website.
Well, I will. The opening night was supposed to be next week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. This is a trial run.
This was we were going to see if it all worked, and it did. I think. And what I don't have is a PA system, so I'll have that so people can hear what we're saying and all that stuff. But thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. Yeah. Any other questions, or anybody want to keep the nano?
So that's Sarah.
By the way, that is Sarah. That's Patrick Norton's wife, and she's actually doing homework. It looks like. Is she doing homework?
Apparently. She's doing homework.
Yeah. Work. She's not in school anymore. All right.
It's grown-up work.
Grown-up work.
Okay, well, I guess that's that.
It's all the
You want to wrap it up?
Right out of that.
I think it's time to wrap it up.
I think it's time to wrap it up. Any other big stories?
We better have some better stories next week.
Well, the damn tech world better do something. Maybe they do.
There's a big announcement coming out on Wednesday. It's going to be kind of interesting.
Oh, this is what we should do. John, what's coming next week? John could tease us. There's a big announcement when?
Wednesday? Yeah.
From a major software or hardware?
Let's just put it this way. There's going to be a little more speed on your wireless.
Ooh. All right. Oh, he won't say.
I can't tell you.
Okay, well, is it cellular or
No.
I'm not saying that's it. You got it.
No quizzing.
No, you got the tip. Just wait till Wednesday.
That's what they do. That's what they did in the McLaughlin group. Is you'd go around at the end and they'd say,
wrong.
The big story is whatever. So, but that's good. We could start doing that. Dvorak's prediction of the week.
Just make sure you call him on next week.
Oh no, we don't want to do that.
It won't happen. Actually, there's nothing. It'll never happen. Seriously, I mean, it's just all
John knows.
I got the teaser in advance.
Oh, all right. Here's our claw. Before we go, we really do have to put. Do we need sugar? Then we need sugar for the claw. We need a lot of sugar.
No, not a lot. A lot could kill you.
A lot could kill you.
Nice. A lot of claw. I think
You're
it means
a coffee
sugar.
drinker. You're a coffee drinker, Patrick. Why don't you pour some? Are those glasses of ice? Just pour some and hand it around. I mean, we can't really leave without.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Clawing ourselves.
caffeine, so.
Oh yeah.
I get that.
I'm not allowed.
Where's that red wine that was supposed to get?
Yeah, we're supposed to.
That's a nice looking
Look at the wine cellar.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Well, I promise, Pat. What's your name? Oh, Dvorak. I promise.
Dvorak guy.
I think we're back in the witty banter section.
I think it's time to wrap up.
Banner needs a little more witty.
I promise that we will break out some nice Bordeaux.
Yeah, we got to take a look at the wines before we leave.
All right, that's a very important thing. But first, ladies and gentlemen, it's claw time.
They brought over
if you trip and spill that, your name will be Claw, and it does look like mud, doesn't it? So again, this is a high caffeine.
It's like kind of a tribute to New Orleans.
And you know what? Actually, this is from the Dragon Riders of Pern.
Yeah.
This is a this is a drink from a novel.
I should give that to Roger.
No, it's okay. Right. I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, it smells like a coffee drink.
It is a coffee.
It is a coffee drink.
I would analyze it as a kind of a bitter chai, kind of.
It is chai because that's the cinnamon. Yeah. I actually like it.
Oh, good.
You know what, Daniel? It's delicious. I'll have yours. Yeah.
I enjoy it. I think it's. You can make this commercially.
I think it's very good. It's better than Balls or Red Bull or anything like that.
Better than what?
Wasn't Balls a sponsor of the Screensavers very briefly?
Yes, they did they also did.
You know what happened? We had some guy on who, what was it? Was the world's dumbest websites? Websites that suck. Remember that? Websites that suck?
Yeah.
He came on and he raped the Balls website. I shouldn't say it that way.
Ripped.
He came on
and ripped the Balls.
Ripped the Balls. No, that sounds bad too. He came on and he disparaged.
There you go. Now you finally
disparaged the Balls website, and the Balls people went ballistic.
Oh, really?
And they canceled.
Only because they had too much of their own drink.
It wasn't a very good
Yeah, you
website.
get pretty. It's loaded with guaranar or something.
That stuff gives me a splitting headache.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't go to Brazil.
You find it very relaxing.
That's like all they drink in Brazil.
I think it's just delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have put roofies in
good.
it, Jerry.
Talking about a poor man's speedball.
I think we really have milked this as long as we can. So I want to thank you all for being here. We'll see you next week. We'll be back at Noonan's at 4 p.m., our tape time. I hope you all come by to a Larkspur Landing. We want to thank America Online. Well, I forgot to mention this. Our 1 millionth download happened this week. 1 million downloads just off America Online. That's only since episode 12 that they've been carrying it. That's about 2 months worth of downloads, 27 terabytes of downloads. So we thank the folks.
All going into 75 homes scattered around North America. It's the same people.
It's the same people downloading it again and again. We thank whoever you are for downloading it 500,000 times. We do thank AOL Radio for providing the bandwidth. They came on right at the perfect time, exactly when the iTunes Music Store started doing podcasting. And if they hadn't, I don't know what we'd be doing at this point.
Well, we wouldn't be on iTunes.
We'd be BitTorrent. It'd be the only way to do it.
But we were serving a fair amount of data over BitTorrent.
We still are. BitTorrent actually is still a big. A lot of people still get it via BitTorrent. I think about 70% of our downloads though are through iTunes and off of AOL. So we thank AOL for that, and we thank all of you for being here. Another TWiT is in the can. Bye bye. I can loop that over and
over. Sorry, my uncle sent me
bad stuff.
Not bad stuff. Just redneck tip of the week. My uncle's in Kentucky. Next time you are too drunk to drive, walk to the nearest pizza shop, place an order, and when they go to deliver it, you have to ride home with them.
That's good. This Week in Tech. This week. There's ads everywhere. No, Frank, you old man. This has been the Week from Hell. I mean, Eric is going on now. So is This Week in Tech. My friends, my twits, are you ready? Yeah, the Twit Army. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Microsoft poo-pooed it. They denied us. No problem. It's a fool's paradise. This is amazing.